Hi, and I'm really sorry about the lack of videos that I made during the recent days, but I had some other things to do. But welcome to part 5 of the removed textures from Minecraft, and today we have some pretty interesting textures as in every video. If you don't know what this series is, I will cover some removed textures from the game or some removed concepts, but I will cover the texture packs later on, which will be a separate series. Okay, so if you haven't watched the other videos, I recommend doing it because they are also pretty cool. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps to grow my channel, and hopefully we can get 10,000 subscribers before summer ends. And also, let's make another. When I hit 300 likes, I'll make another video of this series like always. And if I show the texture that you didn't even know about, please leave a subscribe and also comment which texture you didn't know about, because that's pretty interesting. So now let's actually start. So spiders are a pretty iconic mob. They have a pretty iconic texture and they are, pretty scary. But they had a different texture before, before they were even added in a survival test by Minecraft. By developing 0.26 survival test, they actually had this texture for the spider, which was brown. It had some like yellow, maybe even green textures up there. And it looked a little weird, and it kinda looked like a normal spider. It looked more like a spider than we have now, because spiders are actually usually brown. But this texture was only in the notch video of the development of the new survival test, and on October 24th, 2009 they actually added the spiders that we know now. Soul letters were added as a part of the 1.16 update, and they were added in 20W06A. But they had a different texture when they were actually added in the first snapshot, but then they actually changed it to what we have now. Well, this is what we had in the beginning, and as you can see, the edges of this lantern were actually brown, and I kinda like this more than what we have now, because soul sand is also kinda brown, and I didn't want the same texture to be used for both lanterns, and that would actually make some other combinations for builds and such things, but instead they went with the basic ones. So let's go to the next texture. Okay, so bundles had a long way to be added. They were in snapshots for years actually in the experimental versions, and it took them a while to actually be added to Bedrock. But they had a different version when announced at Minecraft Live 2020. And they also had a different texture when added in the first snapshot, which was 20W45A, and this is the texture. As you can see, the bundle was a little different. It was much browner, and it kinda looked like the old Minecraft textures, which happens a lot of times. But they managed to change it the next week, and they just didn't update it for a really long while until they added it in the bundles of Bravely Drop. Now let's move on and talk about the most annoying mob in the game, and probably one of the most hated mobs in the game, and it's the Phantom. And as you know, it won the 2017 mob vote, which was the first mob vote. And I'm not talking about the concept which Jeb showed on paper, I'm talking about the texture that it had when it first got added in the snapshot. In the snapshot 18W07A, they actually had this texture, and as you can see, it looks like a cat, kind of. I don't know how to explain this, but this looked a little scarier. Imagine just seeing this fly to you at night. This is a little scarier. The one on the top actually looks a little more friendly. It looks weird, but the other one was just, scary. The only bad thing about this is that the one on the bottom actually looks a little too fat for a flying thing, so it doesn't look too good either. But if they actually tweaked this, I would like the dark one much more than what we have now. And also, this one actually dropped leather as a placeholder before they added, the Phantom thing. Okay, going to the next section, we are talking probably about the most iconic texture of all in Minecraft, and it's the diamond block. You probably know it, it's used by everyone, it's known by everyone, and it's pretty great. But during the texture update, they actually had some other variants which looked pretty good, and let me just show you them. On July 19, 2017, Jeb has posted a picture of this diamond block, which looked much more shiny and much more fancy, and I kinda like this more than what we have now. And also it has this little circle in the middle, and also as you can see, there's two like squares which are glowing much more than the rest of the block, which is a little weird, but it also has this fancy texture. And the day after, he actually posted another picture. Okay, so this one was actually posted by Joppa, not Jeb, but as you can see, it was posted the day after, the one that I showed first. And as you can see, it doesn't have this weird frame, it doesn't have this circle, but it has a little weird different gradients, and it kinda doesn't look like a diamond block. And also these glowing squares, they're still there, but much less visible. Well, on July 11, 2018, Joppa has posted another picture of the diamond block, but this time it looked like the emerald block. block. And I kinda like this texture, the colors are much more visible, and I would actually prefer this, yeah, among the block that we actually have. So yeah, this one is great. And the look of the block was so good that they actually managed to add it in 18W43A, and they changed it 4 weeks later in 18W47A, which is a little sad because I kinda like this texture and I would actually prefer it in the game. Okay, now I'm just going to throw in a fun fact because I don't think that I could count this as a removed texture because this is actually in one of the versions, which is Bedrock, and it wasn't even removed at any point, but yeah, I'm just going to mention it because it's a very weird fun fact. So as you know, this is the dragon, yeah, like fireball, which yeah, he spits out when you fight him and it just makes this weird cloud. But on Bedrock this texture is much different and it looks like this. It's just really purple and this looks more like yeah, dragon fireball, because the other one is just a retextured version of the normal fireball. Okay, so I'm sorry, but I had to break this one rule because this is a pretty fascinating thing that I didn't even know about before I actually found this. So now let's go to the next texture, which is also a smart tweak, but yeah, I still want to show you. Okay, let me just show you this little small thing, but in a video which Jeb posted, we had a sponge texture or a wet sponge texture which looked like the one on the right, and when they actually added it, it was the one on the left. And yeah, this is such a small thing, and this texture doesn't even exist in the game anymore because yeah, they changed it. So I just wanted to mention it as another fun fact, but yeah, it's still kind of a removed texture. Okay, pistons were added in beta 1.7 and it was a really long time ago, and it actually had a pretty different texture, or maybe not too different texture, but it had a small tweak on the top, which I'm going to show you, and it's this one. And as you can see, the iron just goes over it and makes kinda a plus here, and it looks much better in my opinion. But when it's 3 days after they actually shown this in a video, they yeah, just added the texture that we know now. Goldlocks are just a less iconic version of the diamond block, and it looks smooth, it looks normal, but it doesn't have like this kind of good texture, a memorable texture that you yeah, just can't remember. But it had 2 versions which were pretty similar, but yeah, they were shown from time to time, and one of them is currently unknown when it was added or when it was shown, but I guess there's a texture update which I'll cover in separate videos. Okay, so we are just going back to the same formula as the diamond block, and as you can see, this block is also like the emerald block, which actually got added, and I don't know which block came first, but yeah, I guess they just stick to the emerald block. So as you can see, it had much more like nicer colors, and it has these edges, the same thing as the diamond block, and I gotta say I like this more. Maybe I'm obsessed with these types of textures, but I love this one. And the second one had yeah, much less colors, and it kinda looked more like what we have now, but still with yeah, the square in the middle and also with the edges. So yeah, tell me in the comment what you think the favorite texture is from yeah, the gold ones and even the diamond ones. Let's talk about the stone color. It's another block like the crafting, but just for stone, and I'm not talking about the old stone color which was in Minecraft Bedrock, which yeah, looked like this, and it's still pretty good, but I don't think that I count this as the main stone color because the block got literally replaced. So yeah, let's talk about this one. In 18W44A they actually added stone colors and they looked like this. They had a much more irony texture and it kinda looked like something they would find in a factory and not in Minecraft, so it didn't look too much like something from survival. So 2 weeks later they changed it, but I still prefer the old one, or there should be a function to actually bring the old one back, because I love this one. And with that, I'm ending this video. Hopefully you liked it, and yeah, I'll make another video soon, and I can't promise when because I got a lot of other things to do, a lot of other things to study. So yeah, I'll do one when I will be back, but there will be for sure some snapshot videos and probably more. So make sure to stay tuned on my channel and see you next time. Bye.